Before this video begins, I'd like to thank @Eyedi Update on Twitter for still keeping fans up to date on Eyedi's status, as well as videos and articles that still mention her. Thank you for your service, it really helped put the pieces together for this video. I tried my best in researching for this video, but it was quite difficult. I've been a fan of Eyedi since finding her song And New on Spotify at around the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. I still love that song a lot, and many of you would recognize it as my intro. And like many of her fans, I was getting worried about not hearing from her in so long. So without further ado, let's dive in. As one of the finalists of a popular survival show and an underground retro R&B musician, Eyedi was an up-and-coming soloist who gained popularity in 2018 after appearing on the JTBC trainee survival show Mix 9. She's known for her sweet and soulful vocals, signature city pop and R&B sound, and breathtaking visuals. During her career as a soloist, she released hit after hit with Caffeine and New being her most popular songs, which are much loved by retro and city pop fanatics of the K-pop genre. Additionally, she was praised for her songwriting and composing skills by music producers, columnists, and critics. But as of this year, no one has heard from her since the beginning of 2021. So what happened to her? Eyedi, born Nam Yoo-jin on the 8th of December 1995, debuted as a soloist under Basecamp Studio on the 19th of July 2016 with the song Sign featuring Loopy. The music video was shot in Los Angeles and remains to this day an underrated debut song, having only garnered around 393k views on YouTube and 190k streams on Spotify. Pretty decent stats for a Nugu artist, but the song and her discography deserve way more love. 2 days after her debut, she attended International Fashion Week in Zhengzhou, where she got to perform Sign for the first time. Before entering Mix 9, Eyedi also released the singles Not Lonely, a song gifted to her fans, and Type, as well as 2 mini-albums titled Mix B, with Best Mistake as the lead single, which became the first and last song she performed on a major broadcasting music show, and Tomorrowland, with the lead single of the same name being made for a prevention campaign. Another thing to mention, Eyedi had released songs in both Korean and English at this point and collaborated with artists and producers from both South Korea and America. Not only did this help her slowly build up a fan base, which would later be named as Password, but it also helped craft a sound that was distinctly hers. Eyedi is a play on words to sound like ID, meaning identity, and she chose the name with the purpose of people listening to her music and recognizing it as her song. As previously mentioned, Eyedi joined Mix 9 in 2017. It was a survival reality show produced by Young Hyun-suk, the founder and former executive producer and chairman of YG Entertainment, and aired from the 29th of October 2017 to the 26th of January 2018. It was set up as a battleground for Nugu idols and idol trainees, with the contestants split into a boys' team and a girls' team. The image Eyedi was given on the show was of a reluctant contestant, someone who saw themselves as more of an artist than a typical cookie-cutter idol. Her reluctance and perceived distaste of idols came about because she was initially under the impression that Mix 9 was a show dedicated to finding underrated artists and showcasing their talents, rather than to create a K-pop idol group. Regardless, she soon gained attention from the general public for a resemblance to IU, quite arguably the most popular female soloist in South Korea, even being nicknamed as the nation's little sister. This only helped to get more people talking about her and for the public to recognize her talents, skills, and dedication to improve herself, to show that she had everything in the making of a star performer. Eyedi ended up ranking 5th, and in a perfect world where if the girl group lineup had debuted, she would have been in the same group as ITZY's Ryujin, Luna's Heejin, Dreamnote's Sumin, the soloist Sori, Hyogyong formerly of Arias, Hayoung formerly of Playback, Moonhee formerly of Bonus Baby, and Lee Soo-min. I think we can all agree that this would have been such a baller lineup and was such a waste to toss aside. No hate towards the boy group lineup that won though. Even though the girl group didn't end up winning, it was actually a blessing in disguise, as we all know how YG absolutely fumbled the ball with the show and with the intended debut group. But despite this, the show did give many of its participants their time in the spotlight and helped them gain more attention and hype from the general public, with many going on to have successful careers in their groups, as soloists or as actors. This was the era that brought in the large majority of her fans, which probably includes you. After Mix9 wrapped production, Eyedi went back to her label and began work on her next comeback, which would be a mini-album titled Love Highway, released in May of 2018. A few months later, she made her Japanese debut and released a mini-album titled Call Action under the Japanese label Pony Canyon. Soon after, she released another single titled Red in September and Caffeine in December, which would go on to become her most streamed song on Spotify at just under 3 million streams as of October 2022. 2018 was quite a big year for Eyedi, as she was also selected to perform at MUCON, with the 3-day Seoul Music Festival featuring other artists such as The Boys, Dreamcatcher, Ace, N-Flying, Daya, and GWSN. In the same year, she earned the title of R&B Queen after the release of her single Red. Following the success of Caffeine, Eyedi released the single And New in the beginning of 2019. The song also became very popular due to its distorted retro sound that people yearned for. This point in her career coincided with the start of the retro synthwave phenomenon that was beginning to gain momentum in the K-pop industry. During the rest of the year, Eyedi opened up her own YouTube channel called Hey Dream, where fans could submit stories in the comments section and she would pick a winner and meet them in person. The channel currently has almost 2.5k subscribers, and the videos posted are mostly vlogs and behind-the-scenes footage. Eyedi also had a Japanese comeback with the single Perfect Sixth Sense in August. To cap off the year, Eyedi was involved in a global project for MUCON's collaboration track titled 7 Up. Though 2019 was not as busy as 2018 for Eyedi, her popularity continued to grow and she was even named as a musician representing the next generation of K-pop. When 2020 came around, Eyedi released Just in March, which, unknowingly to fans, would be her last song as of now. From June to August of the same year, she starred in the web series Thumbs Up Feeds Me as Lee Eun-byul and is available to watch on Naver TV and YouTube. Eyedi had said many times in the past that she had a passion for fashion and acting, so many passwords were happy for her to be given the opportunity to give acting a go. However, seeing as this was 2020, many fans also agree that Eyedi would have most likely grown in popularity and have become a prominent soloist if she was promoted more due to the 70s disco and 80s synth-pop resurgence that came back in full force, as this was the year that birthed Twice's I Can't Stop Me, Everglow's La Di Da, Stacey's So Bad, G-Friend's Mago, and Sunmi's Porapipam to name a few. We also saw Nugu artists such as Yukika, a fellow Mix9 contestant, rise in popularity with songs like Neon and Soul Lady and be dubbed a city pop princess. On December 8th, almost 9 months after the release of Just, Eyedi, as well as her label, had posted a short snippet for a song titled 4, produced by Nema, with the hashtags Eyedi, 2021, and EP. This led to Passwords believing that Eyedi would make her long-awaited comeback soon, but as we all know, this never came into fruition and that became her last Instagram post. Eyedi had also taken an 8-month hiatus from her YouTube channel until March of 2021, when she announced the return of Hey Dream Season 2, which made fans very excited as it appeared to indicate that she was going to come back soon. But again, as we know, nothing happened and that became her last YouTube video. During this turbulent time, many fans believed that Basecamp was struggling due to the pandemic, similar to many other small companies in the industry. We unfortunately saw many groups disband during this period of time, and understandably, fans of Nugu groups and artists were anxious if their faves were next on the chopping block. Fans had first started to suspect that something was wrong in May of 2020 when both of Eyedi's Instagram accounts were deactivated. Many thought that she was probably in the midst of terminating her contract or jumping ship to a different company, but to this day, no one really knows what happened. At the beginning of 2022, Passwords had had enough and wanted answers. Many fan sites began mass emailing campaigns to contact Basecamp Studio. Around May of this year, there was a rumor going around that Eyedi had left the entertainment industry and was spotted working part-time in a cafe. But to reiterate, this is just a rumor. Most recently in July, from a tweet posted on the Twitter handle @IDUpdate, a group of Korean passwords were able to reach through to Basecamp CEO about Eyedi's whereabouts and status as an artist. The post goes, "Hello, Eyedi was going to release 2 new songs in Korea after filming the web drama, referring to Thumbs Up Feeds Me. Maybe you probably heard the song through a short SNS video, referring to the teased song 4 produced by Nema. She was also preparing for new activities, a new EP and showcase in Japan. Despite the COVID-19 situation, Eyedi's activities were being prepared as actively as before, but it was completely stopped because of her own change of mind. I've been having a hard time until now because I can't dare to convey only the company's opinion to all her fans without her exact intention. Currently, Eyedi has stopped contacting all of her agency officials and other artists, so we are trying to give the artists time until this year. Also, our artists are getting asked about Eyedi and they are suffering a lot from the fans who sometimes swear at them. Please don't do this because they are being harmed by this. There was a request to release Eyedi's finished song, but the fans who have been watching our company for a long time will know. I hope that the company is not just a place to pursue money, but a helper who can help the artist in a good and equal position. We are sad to say this, but please understand that we can't release a song that she didn't allow." I'm always sorry and thankful to the fans. Please wait a little longer and we'll greet you again as soon as the news is updated. Like the Basecamp studio before, other artists will work harder, so please look forward to it. Thank you. So, as of now, we don't exactly know where Eyedi is and what she's doing. In a sense, this video is a bit futile because there are a lot of things that we still don't know about. But I wanted to take the time to draw your attention to the issue and also to Eyedi's music. Since I first heard her songs, they've always been a source of comfort to me, and she basically acted as a gateway to the Korean and Japanese city pop scene for me. She's truly a unique artist who worked tirelessly to form her own identity, and I hope nothing but the best for her, wherever she is and in whatever she's doing. I do hope that she'll one day come back and release more music, but all we can do now is to be patient, to keep supporting her, and to not harass the other artists and staff under Basecamp Studios no matter how frustrating the situation is. I didn't expect this video to be so long, but I hope you enjoyed it. Please check out Eyedi's music if you haven't already, it definitely won't be a waste of your time. And if you're already a password or like R&B, synth pop, or city pop, then I'd recommend checking out Yukika, Uju, Yuha, Devita, Rainbow Note, and Behind the Moon. Alrighty, until next time, stay groovy, stay safe, keep smiling, love you all, and bye bye.